This video is a basic introduction to large language models and how they can be improved with reinforcement learning from human feedback. This area of AI technology is very new, and we're seeing more and more interest from clients in running projects relating to this technology. Keep watching to learn what this technology is, how it works, and how you can contribute on new projects in this area. In this video, we're going to look at what a large language model actually is, what the current limitations are with this technology, how these limitations can be addressed, more specifically, how reinforcement learning from human feedback can help, and what this looks like in terms of our projects. While you don't need to know the ins and outs of chatbot training to produce quality data for these kinds of projects, many people find that the extra context and understanding enables them to produce more relevant and higher quality data on a project task, so that is what this video aims to provide. So, what is a large language model? If you've been keeping half an eye on the internet in the last few months, you may have heard of ChatGPT, an open domain chatbot that was released in November 2022 by OpenAI. ChatGPT is an example of a large language model chatbot, or LLM for short. An LLM is a kind of deep learning algorithm that has been trained on a huge volume of data, hence the name. To put this large volume in perspective, ChatGPT was trained using text databases such as web texts, Wikipedia, web articles, and other pieces of writing from the internet, with around 300 billion words fed into the system. From all this data, the model works on probability. It takes an input and then predicts what the next text will be. While this model is pretty impressive, it's not to say that it doesn't come with a fair few limitations. In 2022, OpenAI released a research paper about their model, and this paper is what a lot of other companies are now looking at as their starting point for their own work with this set of technology. In the OpenAI paper, they noted the following limitations. Firstly, the chatbot can sometimes produce plausible sounding but just completely untrue responses. This is often referred to as the model hallucinating. Secondly, the model can produce overly verbose responses where they just don't need to be, or it can try to predict the user's intent, but completely miss the mark and give a response that isn't really what was being asked of it. And finally, as might come as no surprise to anybody after learning that the chatbot was trained on data from the internet, the chatbot can produce harmful, biased, or otherwise toxic content or behaviour. An AI model should not be trained to suggest or cause physical, psychological, or social harm to people or the environment. This leads us to what we call the three pillars that we want to align the models to: helpfulness, truthfulness, and harmlessness. This is where human reinforcement comes in. OpenAI found that fine-tuning their models with human-generated data and human feedback greatly improved the output of their models, and they're not the only ones using this sort of extra training. This extra training is called reinforced learning from human feedback, or RLHF for short. As more and more tech companies look towards AI, the next big thing in the future of technology, we're seeing more and more interest in human data for reinforcement learning. This is where our projects, and more importantly you, come in. So what kinds of projects are we seeing interest coming in from our clients for? Well, we've already had more than one client looking at collecting a variety of prompts. A prompt is what someone would write to the chatbot. Clients are looking for creative and varied prompts across a range of different use cases, where a use case could include areas like asking for ideas, asking the chatbot to write something for you, asking the chatbot for the answer to a question, and more. We're also starting to collect a set of golden responses to these prompts. These responses need to align to those three pillars from before, being truthful, so factually correct, and with references provided to back that up. Helpful, but not overly verbose and not adding extra information that wasn't asked for. And harmless, so free from harmful, toxic, or biased content. There's also an extra level of complexity in response writing around the responses needing to be appropriate for an AI. In other words, not indicating that it has favourites, that it likes things, or indeed that it has any human emotions at all. Finally, we're looking at projects that would take these prompts and responses from before and evaluate them, such as evaluating their content in respect to those three pillars. Another potential evaluation stage project task that we're looking at is ranking multiple response options for one prompt in order of quality against the 3 pillars or something else. We hope that this video has helped give you a little bit of an understanding on what this pretty new area of technology is, what our clients are looking for, and by extension, how you can contribute to these projects with quality data. We hope to see you on a project soon.